Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So, welcome back. And now I have the hard task of keeping you awake. Post lunch. Very bad combination. Post lunch, warm weather and Vedanta. It's sort of guaranteed to work, to put you to sleep. But we have to arise from our sleep. Where Swami Vivekananda is famous, we quote it often, arise, awake and stop not till the goal is reached. That is an adaptation from the Mundaka Upanishad. Uttishtata jagrata prapya varan nibodhata. Shankaracharya comments there. Uttishtata means rise up from the beginningless sleep of ignorance. Ignorance of our real self. Awake, jagrata, awake to your real nature as the infinite Brahman. And then stop not till the goal is reached. That was Swami Vivekananda's adaptation. The original Mundaka Upanishad says, Prapya varan nibodhata, resort to or go to the Guru, those adorable ones, those worshipful ones, and nibodhata, realize the truth from them, take their help and realize the truth. Eighth verse. Satchedatmanyanusyute nitye Vishnu prakalpitaha vyaktayo vividha sarva Hartake katakadivat. All the various forms exist in the imagination of the perceiver, the substratum being the eternal and all-pervading Vishnu, whose nature is existence and intelligence. Names and forms are like bangles and bracelets, and Vishnu is like gold. Okay. Swami Vivekananda said, we Hindus worship a transcendent, imminent God. A transcendent, imminent God. Transcendent means beyond time, space, beyond this universe, beyond creation. So God, who is beyond all this, has created this universe, but not here, not touched by this creation. Immanent means in and through, is right here. So in everything in this universe, God is pervading all of this. This verse is talking about that. We have been introduced to the concept of adhyasa, superimposition. So what is this universe? It's a superimposition on Brahman, existence, consciousness, place. Because of the projecting power of Maya, Vikshepa Shakti, Brahman, pure being, pure awareness, pure bliss, pure being, existence itself, appears as existing things. You see, so many things are existing. Tables, chairs, trees, people, then and actions, then chit, pure consciousness, that is experienced as conscious experiences, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, remembering, enjoying, suffering. All our experiences, they are possible because of consciousness. That's Brahman. And all our lives, whatever we are chasing, that is given the name Ananda, bliss. That is Brahman. When we realize this Brahman, we realize the reality of all existing things. We realize what makes it possible for us to have all conscious experiences. And the ultimate purpose, point of it all, which is Ananda or attainment of Ananda. Just by the way, it struck me last year, I think, or earlier this year, the three great questions of philosophy. See, in philosophy you have three great questions. What is real? First question. What's really existing? What's the reality? That's the first question. And the answer to that is given by a branch of philosophy called metaphysics. God, universe, these things. You can call it consciousness, whatever is your idea of ultimate reality, matter. So metaphysics. So your first question is, what is real? Nowadays there is a new term for it. It's no longer called metaphysics, it's called ontology. It's a fancy new term, but all it means is the study of reality. Ontos means being or reality. So what is real? That's the first question. Second question in philosophy, the most important question. How do you know anything? Before you make any philosophical questions, God exists or God does not exist. The question is, how do you know? World exists, world is real, world is not real. Question is, how do you know? So knowledge, how do we have any knowledge at all? The study of that is called, another branch of philosophy called epistemology. Epistemology, study of knowledge. How do we know anything? And the third great question of philosophy, what is good, beautiful, worthwhile, valuable? Earlier there were a number of branches of philosophy which used to deal with this. Ethics, that was one. Aesthetics, what is beautiful. All of them have been combined into one branch now, new name, axiology. Axiology, A-X-I-O-L-O-G-Y. So philosophy, today philosophy has three branches. If you see philosophy broadly, there are three branches. Ontology, epistemology, axiology, answering three questions. What's real? How do you know anything? And what's the point of it all? What's the meaning, purpose, good, bad, all of this? And now you look at it, it struck me, when you look at the definition of Brahman, the ultimate reality, Sat, Chit, Ananda, these are the answers to those three questions. What is real? Sat, pure being, existence itself is real. That's what gives reality to anything. How do you know anything? Knowledge. How is any knowledge possible? Chit, consciousness. And what is the purpose of it all? Ananda. What is the point of it all? So this Sat, Chit, Ananda itself covers the entire gamut of philosophy. Ontology, epistemology, axiology. Anyway, this is just by the way it struck me. So here it says, this universe is an appearance on Brahman, and there is no problem, let it appear. But the problem is that when you forget that it is Brahman and that you are Brahman, and when we identify with these little bodies and minds, you feel limited. Remember we did that verse, parichinnaiva, limited, and then we suffer. Samsara comes. When I realize I am Brahman, Satchidananda, then that parichinna, limitation goes away. I realize I always was unlimited. Death of the body is not my death. Little demands of the mind are not my demands. Little success and failure of this jiva is not my success and failure. I realize my unlimited nature, and then I can live on through this body mind. Then you will be called Jivan Mukta, liberated while living. That is the goal of Vedanta. You can live here in this very life, whatever the circumstances, and be very happy, very fulfilled, and be a great asset to others also, all other sentient beings also. So anyway, that is the goal. Now here he says, Satchidatmanyanusyute nitye Vishnu prakalpita. In eternal Vishnu, this entire universe is imagined. Imagined means superimposed. Adhyasa. It's superimposed. Why? Because of the projecting power of the Maya. Of whose Maya? Vishnu's Maya. And where is Vishnu then? Where is God? Where is Saguna Brahman, Ishwara, Bhagavan? Right here. What did we discuss? If this world is an appearance, then the ground of that appearance must be here itself. If it's the snake is an appearance, then the rope must be there where you are seeing the snake. If that water is not real water, it's a mirage, then the desert in which the mirage is appearing must be there where you are seeing the mirage. If this world is an appearance, the reality must be here itself. Appearance of what? Of the reality. What is reality? Brahman or Vishnu is calling it here. Notice another use of the term Vishnu. Suddenly he will use Shiva. Suddenly he will use Vishnu. Next he will use Rishikesha. This is the beauty of Advaita Vedanta. It stops you from being sectarian. Because what is Vishnu is the same as Devi, is the same as Shiva. From an Advaita Vedanta perspective, this is called Saguna Brahman, Ishwara, Bhagavan. Various names, various forms. Now, if you choose to call it and understand it as Jehovah, as Father in heaven, as Allah, Advaita has no problem. It's the same concept you are referring to, same reality you are referring to. Notice I use the term Saguna Brahman, qualified Brahman. It's not the absolute Brahman. Absolute Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss, with the power of Maya, which makes it appear like this. This Saguna, Satchidananda, Nirguna Brahman with Maya becomes Saguna Brahman, which is the God of religion. What is the definition of the God of religion? In any religion, what is the common definition of God? Creator of the universe. The cause behind all of this. Karta. In Kashmiri Shaivism they say Asti Karta. If you see Karyam, you see an effect. If you see the pot, you say there must be a potter. If you see the universe, there must be some power behind this universe. So in Advaita Vedanta, it is the same existence, consciousness, bliss with the projecting power of that Maya, Vikshepa Shakti. Only problem is created by the veiling power. And the veiling power is overcome by knowledge. Then what will happen? Will it all disappear in a flash and then you'll be left with nothing? No, this exactly the same thing will continue because the projecting power of Ishwara has created this universe, has projected this universe. But now you are no longer fooled. You see it all as Brahman. Brahman alone appearing as this and that. Where is Brahman? Satchidatmani anusyute nitye Vishnu prakalpita vyaktayo vividha sarva. All the individuals, living beings and non-living beings, they are all imagined on Vishnu, on Brahman, on Satchidananda. And where is Satchidananda now? It's anusyute, it is in and through. When gold, a lump of gold is made into a bracelet, where is the gold now? It's a bracelet. You put it on your wrist. But where is the gold now? Where? Is it gone? No. It's on in the bracelet. In fact, it is the bracelet. In fact, the bracelet is nothing but the gold. It's a new form. It looks like this now. And it's a new use. You can put it on your wrist. And it's a new name, bracelet. But what is the thing itself? Gold. If you melt it and make it into a ring, which you put on your finger, where is the gold now? There now, it's now called a ring. It was called a bracelet. Look at the magic. It's now called a ring. Earlier you put it on your wrist. Now you're putting on your finger. Earlier it looked like this. Now it looks like this. And you make it into a necklace. Same thing. Where is the gold in and through the effects? What is the effect? The product. Bracelet, ring, necklace. These are the products, the effects. In Sanskrit, karyam. Where is the cause, the material of it? In the effect. When you make a pot out of clay, where is the clay? In the pot. In the pot means it is the pot. When you make ornaments out of gold, it is in the ornaments. Gold is there. When the universe appears in Brahman, where is Brahman? In the universe. Everywhere, in everything. In fact, you should object. It's not quite right to say the gold is in the bracelet, as if the bracelet is some kind of container on which gold has been put. No. It is gold itself which you are now calling a bracelet. It is gold itself which now looks like this. It is gold itself which you are now putting on your wrist. It's a gold. Similarly, it is Brahman. It is Saguna Brahman, Ishwara, Bhagavan, God Himself, herself, itself, which is this now. When we overcome the veiling power of ignorance, the Avarana Shakti, through this exercise of Vedanta, we will still see this, but we will see it as God. Yes. Seeing God in everything. Isha Upanishad, the famous first line, first mantra of the Isha Upanishad, Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. The entire universe is to be pervaded, is pervaded by the Lord. All that is moving and non-moving. That first line. Mahatma Gandhi famously said that if all of Hinduism were to disappear and only the first line of the Isha Upanishad remained, all of Hinduism would remain. And what does it say? The Isha Upanishad says God is immanent. Immanent means in and through. The word used here is anusyute. In and through all the effects. Whatever you see in this world, let's get down to brass tacks. If you say, please point it out directly. You say, in and through. Where in and through? Where is the God here? Simple. Answer will be simple. What did you define Brahman as? Existence, consciousness, bliss. Just as you can appreciate gold in the bracelet, in the necklace, in the ring, can you appreciate existence in the tree, in the man, in the woman, in the table, in the sky and the earth? Isness. Aren't we surrounded by an ocean of existence? But it's not out there. That's the trick of it. The existence is you. It is your existence which is borrowed by these names and forms, and they appear like this now. So Shankaracharya calls it Vishnu. In some other verse he will call it Shiva. In some other verse he will call it Devi. There is no need to fight between the followers, the Shaivas and the Vaishnavas and the Shaktas, or Hindus, Muslims, Christians. The same Brahman, same Saguna Brahman, same Ishwara. Vyaktayo Vividha, the various individuals, various names and forms. Bracelet, ring, necklace, they all come. He gives the example. Hatake katakadivat. One more example. Just as ornaments in gold. Just as ornaments in gold. Look at the language. Not golden ornaments. Not golden ornaments. Ornaments in gold. Where is the wave and where is the water? Is the water in the wave? That's normally the way we speak. There's a lot of water in that wave. That's not true. The wave is in water. Because water was there before the wave. Water is there after the wave. And when the wave is there, there is water only. So the wave is in water, is some kind of activity in that water. Ornament is in gold. The shirt is in the threads. This is a Nayayika way of speaking. And so the universe is in Brahman. Now, we will move on to the 9th verse. One more concept, and I promise you, this is the last important one. We have already gone through some heavy duty stuff. First of all, of course, it is Brahman, existence, consciousness, bliss. Then that Brahman is the self, Atma, you. And then the concept of superimposition, Adhyasa, the concept of the falsity of the world. And now one more concept, but very important. This is what Shankaracharya will use from now on. This concept is called upadhi. Upadhi. In if you want to spell it, upadhi. 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 I'll give you the definition in Sanskrit, give an example, and he'll of course give plenty of examples from now on. But this is a very important thing to understand. The exact mechanics of what is happening to us. Why do we feel like this, that I am a little body mind? What's happening? And then how can we realize ourselves as pure awareness? Upadhi. In Sanskrit, upa samipe sthitva suyan gunan adhatte iti upadhi. Upa means close. In Sanskrit, samipe sthitva, existing nearby, existing proximally. Suyan gunan, its own qualities, its attributes, adhatte, imposes upon something else. So something, two things, imagine two things. One existing close to the other and imposing its attributes on the others, on the other, without actually transferring attributes, but it seems to give its attribute to the other. Now what does this mean? Let me demonstrate. Okay. So here we have clear water, like crystal in a glass. Does it look yellow to you? Huh? Let me see, does it work? Oh yes, it works very nicely. It looks yellow to you, right? Yes. But is the water or the cup, is it yellow? No. Is it yellow now? No. Is it yellow now? Yes. No, it isn't. It isn't yellow now. It just looks yellow. What happened? There is this yellow flower, yellow colored flower. I bought it close. Upa samipe sthitva, being close, in close proximity. It appears to transfer its yellow color to the colorless cup with water. Let's call it colorless crystal. This colorless crystal, actually it's not a crystal, it's a cup with water. But this colorless crystal, let us say, this is the example that Shankaracharya will use. This thing transfers its color as if I use a red flower, notice what happens. It begins to look a little bit red. You see, it begins to look a little bit red. So, something with certain properties, when it comes close to something else and appears to transfer its properties, it's called an upadhi. it makes the second thing appear as something other than it is. Alright, now we'll keep that in mind, we'll go into that now. We'll use it. Number 9. Yatha kasho rishikesho Yatha kasho rishikesho Nanopadi gato vibhu Nanopadi gato vibhu Tadbhedat bhinnavad bhati Tadbhedat bhinnavad bhati. Wait. I think it's Tadabhedat. Tadabhedat bhinnavad bhati Tadabhedat bhinnavad bhati Tannashe kevalo bhavet Tannashe kevalo bhavet. It can be both. If you put a we can say tad bhedat, because of the difference of the upadhis, the sky appears different. Or the tad abhedat, sky being non-different, it appears different because of upadhis. Anyway, both ways. So what does it mean? As the all-pervading akasha, sky, appears to be diverse on association, on account of its association with various upadhis, which are different from each other, and becomes one on the destruction of the upadhis, so also the omnipresent Lord appears to be diverse on account of his association with various upadhis, and becomes one on the destruction of these upadhis. Alright. He gives an example. Yatha akasha, space. Now look at space. Just look at it now. And look, here is big tent space, small tent space, the ashram space, the garage space, and the open space in the sky. Space in the bottle, inside the bottle space. So many spaces I am pointing out. Some are big, some are medium sized, some are much bigger, the ashram, inside the ashram. Some are small inside this bottle. They all look different. The bottle space looks like this. This tent space looks like this. So each space looks different. Each space is different size and different name and different use. In the bottle space you put water. In the monastery you put a monk. In the tent you put people. They are all different uses, different names, different shapes. And yet none of this is true. Space is one and undivided. What is different are the upadhis. The tent is shaped like this. The bottle is shaped like this, not the space. This is the shape of the bottle, not the space. So, the upadhis, what's the upadhi? Bottle, tent, ashram. These are upadhis. Because of these, the one unbroken, undivided, unchanged space seems to be different. Big and small, and used for different things, and named differently. In a hotel you will get 1,000 rooms, and each room will have a name. 1, 2, 3, 4, room number 1, 2. So there is a space in room 1, space in room 2, we have more space there, less space there. No, all of that is wrong. There is one unbroken space. It appears to be like that because you have put up these structures. Look at this behind me. Look at the space through these divisions in the tent. Here the space looks square. Here it looks triangular. You see? Has the space become square? Has the space become triangular? Not at all. The space is not even bothered. It's we who have made these designs in the cloth, and because of that the space looks different. So these are upadhis. Without doing anything to the space, it makes it look different. And we can call it by different names, and we can use it differently also. So this is the function of upadhi. It transfers its triangular shape to the space. It transfers, it appears to transfer its square shape to the space. It transfers its cylindrical shape to the space. But space is not square or triangular or cylindrical, just unaffected. No matter what the upadhis do, the space is not affected. For example, if I move the bottle like this, is the water in the bottle, is it traveling with the bottle? Don't seem to be sure. If it didn't, I would make a very wet mess. Water is here, if I move it and the water will remain here, it will fall in. No, the water travels with the bottle. Now, half of this bottle is empty, there's space there. Air is there, of course, but space. Does the space travel with the bottle when I move the bottle around? No. Somebody said yes. No. The bottle travels through space. Right now, we think there is space inside the ashram and outside the ashram. Not at all. It is the ashram which is on the surface of the planet Earth, which is revolving at a which is rotating at a great speed, and so the ashram is traveling through space, and the earth is revolving around the sun, and the ashram is traveling through space at great speed. Space is not traveling through the ashram with the ashram. In modern physics, of course, you will say that even space is affected by mass and movement and all that. But in general, I am saying space is one, undivided, not affected. Because of the presence of upadhis, we give lots of names and usage and shape. All of this we attribute to space. Just like the cup and the yellow flower. It seems red when the yellow flower is close to it, and does not. It seems colorless when the yellow flower is not close to it. But it was colorless to begin with. It is clear and colorless even when the yellow flower is close to it and it looks yellow. Still, it's not yellow at all. The water and the glass. Similarly, space is not affected by the upadhis. And he says, Rishikesha, who is Vishnu, who is Saguna Brahman, Satchidananda, completely unaffected by the upadhis. Though various upadhis, nana upadhigata. Vibhu means all pervading, like space. But this is not space, it is existence consciousness place. This is all pervading existence consciousness place. Various upadhis will come up. Body, mind, and it will feel like an organic body. Human body, animal body. Mind, thoughts, it will feel like it's depressed or happy or desirous or knowledgeable or foolish. These are all because of upadhis. What is an upadhi? Body is an upadhi. Mind is an upadhi. And just like this flower seems to transfer its yellow color to the colorless cup, similarly, the body seems to transfer its qualities. Man, woman, or any one of the 23 genders in New York City, it seems to transfer to you the genderless consciousness. Legal. So it seems to transfer. You can multiply as with they all belong to upadhi, but not to consciousness itself. Somebody asked me, this was in London a few weeks ago, what do you think of this new gender revolution from a Vedantic perspective? He said, see, there's a positive and negative side to it. The positive side is Vedanta is always for freedom. If it gives you more freedom, physically, mentally, socially, and spiritually, it's good. If this gender issue is something that is holding you back in life, that's making you deeply unhappy, unable to develop and progress in life, good, go ahead. Have as many genders. Why 23? Have 230 genders if you want. One every day, every other day, and you can keep on changing if it makes you more free. On the other hand, the negative side of it, notice Advaita Vedanta and many of these other philosophies, they say gender is body. At the most it has some effect on the mind. But you are neither body nor mind. If you make this the whole of your life and pursuit, if you predicate your happiness, if you predicate my happiness, my fulfillment depends on me changing my gender from this to that, the prediction is you'll be unhappy. You'll be unhappy. It won't work. It won't work. If it helps you, in Vedanta there is a very simple criterion. If it is something that helps you towards realization, enlightenment, good, it's moral, it's ethical. If it obstructs you from realization, if it retards you from realization, enlightenment, it's immoral, it's unethical. The real question from a Vedantic perspective would be, this whole gender revolution, is it making me more body conscious or less body conscious? You decide. Alright. Then all the distinctions which are so important to us in life, they are all because of upadhi. They are all because of upadhi. Now we will see 10. Nanopādhi vashad eva, nanopādhi vashad eva, jati varnashramadayah, jati varnashramadayah, atmanyaropitastoye, atmanyaropitastoye, Rasavarnadibhedavat, Rasavarnadibhedavat. Owing to its association with various upadhis, such ideas as caste, color, and position are superimposed on Atman as flavor, color, and so forth on water. So water, which is colorless, as we just saw. But if you go to a shop, like a grocery shop or some kind of convenience store, you will find colored drinks of so many sorts. Lemonades and orange and peach and what not. And they all look different from each other. They look different. They're different colors, different tastes. How did the same colorless, tasteless water get so many tastes and color? Because of addition of upadhis. The color belongs to the upadhi, the chemical which has been added there. The flavor which has been added there. The taste belongs to that flavor, to that chemical. The color belongs to that chemical. But that water now looks orange, red, yellow, all of that. And it tastes different also. So he says this is an example. Water basically which is colorless and tasteless seems to acquire lot of color and taste because of addition of various upadhis. Similarly, we, limitless existence, consciousness, bliss, one, we appear to be many. How do we appear to be many? The moment many bodies appear and I become associated with each body-mind complex, I, the one consciousness, I appear to be many. Haven't you seen a barber shop? You go and sit in a barber shop and with mirrors all around you, and look how many of you are there. 10, 100, 1,000 all around you. But there is only one. What has happened? mirror upadhi. Because of mirror upadhi, one seems to be 1,000. Similarly, we appear to be many. And not only many, just like this yellow flower seemed to transfer its yellow color to the colorless cup, just as these squares and triangles seem to transfer their squaredness or triangleness to the formless sky. Similarly, these bodies and minds seem to transfer their attributes to you, the consciousness. It says jati, birth, varna, color. So, I am born of such and such caste. In fact, jati, varna is a little difficult to explain there, because jati and varna basically mean the same thing. So you could have explained it as birth, high birth or noble birth or low birth, things like that. Varna means caste. But here in the modern West, you can easily distinguish these two. Varna would mean color, race, and jati would mean caste in the Hindu context. So that way I can interpret. Where does this come from? It comes from the body. Consciousness is not white or black or Asian. No. It's not First Nation. No. It's consciousness. But it is transferred onto me, the consciousness, because of this body. I am brown. How am I brown? Swami Vivekananda used to joke. He liked chocolate ice cream. He discovered it when he came to the United States. That was in the late 19th century. He said, I like chocolate ice cream because I am chocolate. I am brown. But how can consciousness be brown? It's a body. Just like colorless water appeared to be yellow because of the presence of the flower. Similarly, the presence of the body, the appearance of the body in me, the consciousness, makes me feel I am brown. I am male, I am Indian, all are body. I am happy, mind. I am depressed, mind. I am very knowledgeable, mind. I've forgotten whatever I learnt in school. Same condition common to most people. Mind. That's mind. Ashrama. So that was the traditional division of society in ancient India. 4 castes and 4 stations in life. So Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The priestly class, the warrior administrative caste, the trading commercial castes, and the laboring castes. And then ashrama, the 4 stations in life. The brahmachari, the student, then the grihastha, the householder, married with family, then vanaprastha, the retired person, literally forest dweller, and then sannyasi, the monk. So 4 stations in life and 4 castes. Very interesting comment that Shankaracharya makes in his commentary on the Taittiriya Upanishad. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is one place where the student asks the teacher, all this thing about Brahman, suppose Brahman doesn't exist. Asad Brahma iti ched, that's the statement in the Upanishad. Asad Brahma iti ched, if Brahman does not exist. And then the teacher gives an answer. Asanneva sabhavati, then you would not exist. According to Advaita Vedanta, you are Brahman. But you do exist. It's the most indubitable fact of our lives. I exist. And Advaita wants to show me that this very existence is Brahman. So I do exist. But if Brahman does not exist, then what? There, Shankaracharya in his commentary, Bhashya, makes an amazing statement. He says, in that case, the entire arrangement of society into castes and, these ashramas, householder, student, forest dweller, monk, all of this would be meaningless. Why? Brahma pratipatti artham tesham. The entire arrangement has been made to enable us to realize Brahman as soon as possible. That means, according to Shankaracharya at least, the idea in ancient India was all of life and all of society and all of civilization, the goal is God realization. And the society has been designed in such a way, supposed to be at least, which will help you to realize God. A very interesting point. If God, Brahman, whatever you call it, so spiritual reality does not exist, then the whole thing is meaningless. Civilization is meaningless if that does not exist. Because the whole purpose of civilization is to attain enlightenment. Interesting. Toye, in water, rasa, taste, color, all of these appear because of upadhis. Similarly, in Brahman, limitless existence, consciousness, bliss. I am brown, I am male, I am Indian, all of these are appearing because of upadhi. What upadhi? Body upadhi. Mind upadhi. Really, are those qualities in Brahman? No. Where are they? In the upadhi. How did they appear in Brahman? This is the very function, the trick that the upadhi does. The trick is to be in what Advaita Vedanta wants you to do is just this. When this cup of water, this one is appearing yellow. It's appearing yellow to you now? At this time also you should be able to appreciate and be very clear it's not yellow. The yellow, what do you do with the yellow? Return it to where it came from, the flower. That means know by your knowledge. You don't have to actually do anything because it's there in the flower anyway. Just have to recognize the fact that the yellow belongs to the flower, not to the water. That's what Advaita Vedanta is trying to help us to do. In consciousness just now, realize that all limitations of age and disease and all belong to the body, not to you, the consciousness. All happiness, unhappiness, even purpose, spirituality, God realization, all these things belong to the mind, not to you, the consciousness. That's why Shankaracharya can sing, Na dharmo na chartho na kamo na moksha Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. What's my goal in life? It's not pleasure, na kama. It's not wealth and success, na artha. It's not even a moral, ethical life, na dharma. It's not even moksha, liberation, freedom, enlightenment, na moksha. Why? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. I am of the nature of pure consciousness and bliss. What moksha for me? All of these goals have been transferred onto me by the mind. Put it back where it belongs. One sadhu put Vedanta so simply to me. I'll share this with you. I'll tell you in Hindi and translate into approximate English. He said that, oh monk, Vedanta is very simple. महात्मा जी जो चीज जहां का है वहीं रहने दो. Oh monk, whatever belongs to whatever where things belong, just let things remain where they belong. Don't misplace things. Old age belongs to the body, not to you. Disease belongs to the body, or more specifically pranamaya kosha, not to you. Hunger and thirst belong to the prana, not to you. Mental happiness, unhappiness, illness belongs to the mind, not to you. Mental illness is a storm in the mind, like physical disease is a storm in the body, mental illness like a storm in the mind. Belongs to the mind, not to you. What belongs where, keep it there. It's already there. Yellow is already in the flower, not in the water. Just recognize that it is so. Even when the water appears yellow, be clear that it is not yellow. It's a clear, crystal clear water. Similarly, even when body, mind and its qualities appear in you, it will appear in you. It will continue to appear. Be absolutely sure none of it belongs to me. It's just appearing like this. I as consciousness am fine. Oh, one thing I wanted to make clear in that 9th verse. Tannashe kevalo bhavet. When the upadhi is destroyed, then the space remains as it is. So, what does it mean? When you take down the tent, when you smash the buildings, when you crush the bottle, then space is one. But when the bottle is there, tent is there, building is there, then space is divided. Is that what it means? No. Even when all of these are there, the space is one and undivided. So, tannashe, the destruction of the upadhi, one must understand it carefully. Destruction of the upadhi is not actual destruction. It is mithyatva nishchaya, the ascertainment of the falsity, the appearance nature of the upadhi. The upadhi, here at least, there is a cup of water and there is a separate flower. But when you're talking about Brahman and the world, body, mind are not even separate existences apart from Brahman. They are appearances in Brahman. Just like pictures appear on the screen in a movie, and then you have a hero, a villain, an action and comedy and horror and whatnot. But even the pictures, the actors are not different from the screen. It's just the screen itself. So, upadhi nasha, you don't have to destroy the upadhis. First of all, you cannot. You cannot. Why? Where do these upadhis come from? You didn't make it. It is Vishnu, Saguna Brahman, Ishwara, with the power of Maya who has projected all of these. As long as the Lord chooses to project the universe, upadhis will keep appearing. But it's no problem at all. Because all you need to know is that they are appearances and the qualities of the upadhis, physical qualities of bodies, mental qualities of minds, they belong to the body mind, not to you. Keep things where they belong. When you do this, you are perfectly safe. So not only you cannot destroy it because it's not your creation, it's God's creation, these upadhis. God's projection. That's the meaning of srishti, projection. And you need not destroy the upadhis. Because even in the presence of the yellow flower, even when the water looks yellow, it isn't yellow. You don't need to crush the flower. You don't need to throw away the flower. You just need to know even the yellow water is actually colorless. It's not really yellow. And you must not destroy the upadhis. You cannot, you need not, you must not. Why not? Because it's fun. Once you realize that the water is colorless, not affected, you put a yellow flower near it, you put a red flower near it, you put a blue flower near it, you take away all the flowers, it's still the same thing. Similarly, when all of life becomes a festival, and great joy, see where all these upadhis, what film it shows you next. One sadhu put it nicely. How do you, sir, how do you plan your day? They thought some kind of routine and everything is there. How do you, each day, how do you lead it? What is your discipline routine? He said, in the morning when I wake up, so chappal, that means the sandals. Do you call it flip-flop in Canada? Or you call it flip-flop? In the USA they call it flip-flop. Chappal, sandals. So when I wake up in the morning, I see my sandals walking out of the room. I jump on them. And they walk around all day, take me to various things and show. I enjoy, I have a great time. So this is what the upadhis will show you. The creation of the Lord. You need not destroy, you must not destroy. It is fun, it is joy. What is the use of just Satchidananda? Upadhis make it enjoyable. The projecting power of the Lord. But the Avarana Shakti is the dangerous one. The veiling power. Once you realize the difference between the cup of water and the flower, good. Nothing can stop you then. Alright. Now 11, 12 and 13, it will tell us about the upadhis, which we have personally. We have 3 upadhis. Sthula Sharira, physical body. Sukshma Sharira, subtle body. Karana Sharira, causal body. Each of us. We must learn to identify the upadhis and their qualities. Then you will be free of it. You say, oh, this is the physical body. Skin is wrinkled. It needs moisturizer. I have become old and wrinkled. Not I. Skin. Wrinkled. Old. Keep it in where it belongs. In the body, not in you. Consciousness cannot become wrinkled and old. You don't have to put moisturizer on consciousness. You have very dry consciousness. No. So, physical body, then subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, which is mind, intellect, memory, feelings, emotions, our personality. And then the causal state, which we don't usually think about, which you experience in deep sleep, the seed state. All 3 are upadhis. And they seem to transfer their activities and qualities onto you, the attributeless consciousness, and they make a huge mess of your life. Okay. 11. Panchikrita Mahabhuta Sambhavam Karma Sanchitam Shariram Sukha Dukkhanam Bhogayatana Shariram, physical body. Very meaning of Sharira is that which is decaying continuously, that which is degrading continuously. Shirna, which is going away continuously. The gross body, the medium through which the soul experiences pleasure and pain, is determined by past action and formed out of the 5 great subtle elements which become gross. Okay, this part is complicated. When this 1/2 portion of one subtle element becomes united with 1/8 each of the other 4, what does this mean? If you've done Vedanta Sara, you know. So, what does it mean? It means the old cosmology, which the Vedanta happily borrows from Sankhya, which has its roots in the Upanishads also. It says that the projecting power of Maya, Vikshepa Shakti, presents Brahman as a variety. What variety does it present? First as the 5 elements. Brahman appears as 5 elements. Panchabhuta, 5 cosmic elements. This is based on the Taittiriya Upanishad. Tasmad va etasmad atmana akasha sambhuta akashad vayu vayor agni agner apaha adbhyah prithivi prithibhyam aushadaya and so on and so forth. So, from this Atman, from this pure being, from this pure consciousness, what appeared? Akasha, space. And then air, and then fire, and then water, and then earth. These 5 elements appear. Now one might think this is old, obsolete cosmology. There is more to it than that. One might instead of that, one might think I am more interested in the periodic table and what we learnt in chemistry and all. But basic idea is material universe appears from Brahman because of the projecting power of Maya. Now these 5 elements are not the earth and sky and which we are seeing. They are what are called subtle elements. Sukshma bhuta or tanmatra, these are the words used. The subtle elements, they are not perceivable by us. Then these subtle elements combine to form our subtle body, mind, intellect, memory, this inner instrument which we have. And then these 5 elements, they combine with each other. Space combines with the other 4 portions of the other 4. That's where all this 1/8 business comes in. So space combines with a little bit of the earth element, fire element, water element and so on to become gross space. What is gross space? This. And so also with water and fire and all, they become these gross elements, Mahabhuta. And these gross elements combine together to form this physical universe and physical bodies. So creation in Vedanta, in fact Sankhya also, it goes through 3 phases. One is it's in a seed form in Maya, no distinction whatsoever. Then it emerges in a subtle form. There are 5 subtle elements. Then it combines and recombines with each other, those elements, and they emerges in a physical form, gross form. So universe goes through causal, subtle, physical. It's very much like our own experience. Our deep sleep state is causal. Our dream state is subtle. And this waking state is physical. Of course, in the physical here, right now, the subtle and the causal are still there. Right? Okay. Now, what he has said is, Panchikrita Mahabhuta, with the 5 great elements, where after the subtle elements have combined with each other, and the gross elements have formed, as a part of that, living bodies are produced. Organic bodies, living bodies are produced. How? Why? Karma sanchitam, because of past karma. So each sentient being, each jiva, we have a huge account of past karma. And drawing upon that, the Lord, Vishnu, Rishikesh, or God, whoever you say, gives us these bodies so that we can experience the results of our past karma. What will we experience? Sukha dukkha, pleasure and pain. Where did pleasure and pain come from? Papa punya, from merit and demerit. Where did merit and demerit come from? Dharma dharma, from our moral and immoral actions in past human births. Why did we do moral and immoral actions? Raga dvesha, likes and dislikes, strong likes and dislikes. Why did we have strong likes and dislikes? This is parichinna, limited. We feel limited. Why do we feel limited? Because of these upadhis. They are all limited. But why are these upadhis there? How does it affect us? It doesn't actually. That's the tragedy of it all. It doesn't. They are upadhis. They seem to affect us. That's why parichinna iva, limited as if. And then bhogayatana muchyate. These bodies are places of experience. Bhoga means experience. Suffering and enjoyment. As long as we are embodied in this life, we'll get a series of experiences. How? Not random, based on our past lives karma, a part of it. Vivekananda said, good, good, bad, bad, and none escape the law. Whosoever wears a form wears the chain too. Wears a form means I'm wearing this form. This form is attached to a chain of past karma stretching back to immemorial time. So I'm wearing the chain. It will keep giving me results and experiences in this life. Good and bad things will keep happening to me. Then what can Vedanta do? If none escape the law, then what can Vedanta do? Then Vivekananda says, far beyond name and form is Atman never free. Know thou art that sannyasi bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. See, far beyond, not far beyond, right here actually. Yellowness, but right here is the cup, free from the yellowness, even when it appears to be yellow. Know thou art that. Oh cup, you know yourself to be this. So, yeah, but I am yellow cup. No, you are not yellow cup. It just seems to be like that. So I am a miserable, I am consciousness, but I am miserable consciousness. Not miserable consciousness. The misery comes from the mind. Misery is the mind is upadi, and its quality is temporarily misery, and it's transferring it to you. Oh, thanks for explaining it. Now I am so happy. Be careful. Again upadi. That happiness has come in the mind after reading Vedanta. I feel good. So I am good now. No. You always were good. That's the mind again. Then number 12. Pancha prana mano buddhi. Pancha prana mano buddhi. Dashendriya samanvitam. Dashendriya samanvitam. Apanchikrita bhutotham. Apanchikrita bhutotham. Sukshmangam bhoga sadhanam. Sukshmangam bhoga sadhanam. The subtle body, the instrument of the soul's experience. What is the place of experience? Physical body. What is the instrument through which you experience? Subtle body. Even if the body is there, if I am in coma, no? Physical body is there, subtle body switched off. So I will not experience. The instrument is stopped. So subtle body. What is this subtle body? It's all, see, all of this is actually experienced right now. None of this is theory. Take a look. Subtle body, he'll point it out. 5 Pancha Prana. This is, I will not go into the details. 5 pranas, those who do puja, they know. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. The 5 activities of the human physiology, which takes care of respiration, then digestion, and all of these things. He has given, the footnote he has given, Nikhilanji. Pancha prana. So there are 5 pranas. Then there is mind. Thoughts. Various kinds of thoughts coming, that's mind. Buddhi, understanding. Dashendriya. 2 he has left out. Chitta, memory. Ahankara, ego. You can add them. Dashendriya, 10 sense organs. 10 organs. 5 sense organs, 5 motor organs. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and then what else? Skin. And 5 motor organs. The organ of grasping, hands. Organ of locomotion, feet. Organ of evacuation. Organ of reproduction. Organ of speech. 5. 10 organs. At this point one might point out, but this is human. There are other animals with other kinds of organs and other kinds of senses and all. Bats have this sound location. Sound, yeah, they project the sound and then they reflect it back. Dolphins have sonar. Snakes have infrared vision. So what about that? Remember, all of this Vedanta, we are not talking about biology here. It's a methodology to show us to freedom. So the careful description is of our body-mind system. General description of the body, more precise description of the mind, because that's what we need. So this is the upadhi. What are these made of? Apanchikrita bhutottham. This is the subtle elements. Before the elements were mixed into this, before that they were in the subtle form. Sky, air, fire, water, earth. With the mixture of those, the subtle, this mind has been, the subtle body has been made. Bhoga sadhanam. This is the instrument of experience, pleasure and pain. Then finally the seed state, which we see in the deep sleep. 13th verse. Anadya vidya nirvachya, anadya vidya nirvachya, karanopādhiruchyate, karanopādhiruchyate, upadhi-tritayad anyam, upadhi-tritayad anyam, atmanam avadharayet, atmanam avadharayet. Ajnana. What is this causal body? It's basically ignorance. It's that veiling power. So, when did it start? Beginningless. Beginningless. Anadi. This question might come. So, I am ignorant of myself as Brahman. When did this ignorance start? Beginningless. Someone might say, Americans, they say, that's a cop-out. You are not giving an answer. When did it start? You are saying it's beginningless. But no. Ignorance is always beginningless. This was pointed out to me by a professor, Professor J.N. Mahanti, who was a brilliant professor of both Western and Indian philosophy. He knew Nyaya and Vedanta very well, and he was in Western philosophy. He was a master of Husserl's phenomenology. He passed away last year. So many years ago, in the Institute of Culture in Calcutta, there was a class on Vedanta, and then he was talking about ignorance, and he says always in Vedanta you will find beginningless, and it sounds strange. Or Vedanta says everything is clear, it has to be understood, but we don't understand. It's like some kind of, you have to take it as beginningless. It protects you from the question, when did it begin? But he said actually ignorance is always beginningless. And you remember he asked us, do you know German? And we said, the students, we said no. So you're ignorant of German? Yes. When did your ignorance of German start? I said, since when are you ignorant of German? Since our birth. Oh, so before your birth you knew German? No. Any ignorance. My ignorance of German is beginningless. But it has an end. In Vedantic terms, anadi santa. Not shanta, sa anta. Anadi, beginningless. Sa anta, with an end. When will the ignorance of German come to an end? When you start learning German. Similarly, the ignorance of anything is beginningless, but it comes to an end when you get knowledge. Similarly, ignorance of your nature as Brahman is beginningless, and will come to an end when you read Atmabodha, when you study Atmabodha. Anadi, beginningless, avidya, ignorance. Anirvachya, it cannot be said to be real, it cannot be said to be unreal. Karana upadhi, this is called the causal upadhi. So 3, here is only one little flower, but for us the problem is complicated. 3 layers of upadhi. Causal upadhi, subtle upadhi, physical upadhi. Upadhi tritayad anya. Other than these 3 upadhis, atmanam avadharet, realize yourself to be other than these 3 upadhis. It's like telling the cup that, oh cup, you think I am a yellow cup. No, cup and yellow are different. Realize yourself, the flower is yellow. You are other than the yellow flower. Realize yourself first as apart from the yellow flower. Upadhi tritayad, other than body, other than mind, other than causal upadhi. You are Atman. You have to realize that. How you will realize? That's the techniques will be taught soon. That we will take up tomorrow. But let me just alright, let me leave it here. 14 will be a good place to start tomorrow. 14 sort of sums up the whole adhyasa and upadhi situation. So we can start tomorrow with that. Alright, now let's do some questions. Alright, you want me to summarize? Good. So, what did we do today? All day long. Verse 1, it tells us about the fourfold preliminaries. You remember, I will just mention it, I will not explain. Vishaya, Prayojana, Adhikari, Sambandha. The subject matter, what's the point of it, what's the purpose of it, who is the competent student, and what's the relationship between text and knowledge. Then it tells us about the qualities, the fourfold qualities of the competent student. Then verse 2 tells us it's only knowledge which is the proximate cause of liberation. Other things will help you. Remember the matrix of practices. Then verse number 3. Why won't the other practices help you to get liberation? All karma, all activity, whether it's a puja or whether it's a mental activity like meditation, they are all action. And action is not opposed to Brahman, to pure consciousness. Action is not opposed to ignorance. So action is born out of ignorance. Action cannot destroy ignorance. Only knowledge can destroy ignorance. Like light and a mass of darkness. Light destroys a mass of darkness. Then number 4, this is a verse worth thinking about again and again. Parichinnaiva. All our problems is because we feel small, limited. We feel crushed by this world, crushed by life. But here is the hope, eva, as if small. You are not small, you are vast. Chandogya Upanishad says, Nalpe sukham asti, bhumaiva sukham, yo vai bhumatat sukham. There is no real happiness in the small. In the vast alone lies happiness. That which is the vast, that is happiness. You are the vast. Number 5 tells us that does knowledge persist after enlightenment? That knowledge vritti also dissolves, like that nut, the powder of the nut which dissolves after removing impurity. Knowledge comes, removes ignorance and disappears, leaving only Brahman. There are a lot of little subtleties involved here, but we have no time to go into that. Number 6 introduces adhyasa, superimposition. Remember, the projecting power of Maya, the veiling power of Maya, and the superimposition, the rope appearing as snake, Brahman appearing as world, that is adhyasa. It also introduces to us, consequence of that is, world is an appearance. World is not ultimately real. Brahman is real. Then, how will we realize this? You see, he gives the example of dream. When you wake up from the dream, you realize the dream was false. But then, this is false. How will we realize? The truth is, you will realize this when you know the ground of illusion. The snake is false is realized when you know the rope. The silver is false, you realize when you know the seashell. This world is false when you know Brahman, the ground of the illusion. Then number 8, where is Brahman? In and through everything, like gold in and through ornaments. Number 9 introduces the concept of upadhi. Number 10, it shows that every difference that we have in life, physical, mental, all are due to upadhi. Actually, there is one non-differentiated Atman only, Brahman only. Then number 11, 12 and 13, it tells us the main upadhis which we have to face. Physical body, mental body and the causal body. That's it. That's what we did today. What remains for us? Tomorrow we will know how to separate ourselves from the upadhi. How will the cup of water know itself as colorless even though it appears to be yellow? That's what we will do tomorrow. The actual techniques.
I will request everybody to just make it very sharp, name and question so that many number of people can do it. Okay? Thank you. And Swamiji doesn't have to continue beyond.
Pranam Maharaj, thank you for blessing us with your presence for second year in a row. I'm having this peculiar problem that I'm not able to frame the question when you are there in your presence, but the moment you go away during the break, the question comes jumping back, so I've had to write it down so that I don't forget. So I have two questions, but I'll ask them both, but you can choose to answer them based on time. My first question is, so for a spiritual aspirant who's had some inkling about the teaching, you still sometimes lose the mind's tranquility for seemingly trivial things. So what practices would you recommend to bring the mind back to composure and focus back on the teaching? My first question. Second question, you mentioned Bill Conrad and how everything, including body and mind, is experienced in the consciousness. Is it possible for us to experience consciousness or awareness without body and mind?
All right. Let me answer the second one first. It seems from all this description that consciousness is dependent on the body and mind. After all, and the world. After all, the world provides the objects which consciousness is aware of. You see, form, color, sound, smell, taste, thoughts, ideas. And the body, mind are the instruments through which we experience these objects, and consciousness makes it all possible. But without the world, without the body, without the mind, will there be any experience at all? Now, answer is yes and no. What does consciousness do for this world? And what does the world do for consciousness? What consciousness does for the world is provide it with illumination and existence. Consciousness is not only gives you experience of the world, but also lends existence to the world. That's why it's called Sat, being. But what does the world do for consciousness? What the world does for consciousness is it makes consciousness manifest. What does a mirror do to your face? It makes your face manifest to you. Okay. Then you will say that, but then that just shows that consciousness and world are interdependent. That is what true in the case of Sankhya and Yoga philosophy, where they talk about Purusha and Prakriti, which are independent realities interacting. They're dependent in one way, interacting. But this is not a question or a problem in Advaita, because consciousness is the reality and the world, body and mind are appearances in consciousness. See, all these upadhis, physical body, mental body and subtle body, they are all appearances in consciousness. They are nothing other than consciousness. So consciousness actually doesn't depend on anything outside other than itself. It is its own projecting power which provides the upadhis, and then it can experience. So this is the second question. The first question was about composure of mind. I'll give you an Advaitic method. It's subtle. And then the general set of practices based on the yogas. The Advaitic method is this. Sometimes the mind loses its composure. Do you experience the mind which has lost its composure? Yes. And the mind which is composed and peaceful, do you experience it? Yes. That which experienced the restless mind and that which experienced the restful mind, is it the same thing? The same consciousness? Did that consciousness become restless? See, upadhi. What does the upadhi do? It transfers its quality onto something else. The restlessness of the mind, where is the restlessness? In the mind, not in you, the consciousness. It seemed to transfer it to you. You feel, I have lost composure. But it's the mind which has lost composure. Even when the mind has composure, has no composure, has decomposed, whatever it is, you, the consciousness are the same because you are experiencing it. That's the proof. Now, does this work for you? You have to think quietly. Then you will realize you are this consciousness which is beyond disturbance. You can never lose your composure. Even when the mind seems to lose its composure. And when you know this knowledge will be in the mind only. You will see the mind will lose its composure less and less. This effect it will have. So this is Advaitics. Think about it. This is based on upadhi, what we did. You are like saying that, see, first of all, mind loses its composure. That thing has become dirty. It's nothing to you. Then that thing will be cleaned up. Nothing to you. You might say, okay, nice. Why are you so worried about the mind losing its composure? Identification. One sadhu put it brilliantly. He said, I'll tell you in Hindi and translate. Kitne man ko sudharoge Mahatma ji? Lakho karodo man धूल के कणे के तरह झिलमिला रहे हैं सूर्य किरण में. How many minds are you going to put right? There are millions and billions of minds, like, ray of sunlight and there's dust. In Brownian movement, you see movement like this in the morning. Just like that, in consciousness, there are millions of minds floating around. Good, bad, evil, happy, spiritual, materialistic. How many are you going to repair? You're worried about this one mind. Why? Identification. Now, what is happening to us is, I feel that I am very composed now, here. Now I've lost my composure. Now I'm composed again. So what you have to do is, when you have lost composure, notice that you haven't actually lost composure. You're still the same colorless waterless cup, similarly same ever steady light of consciousness, even when the mind is jumping around. Okay. This is the Advaitic. Then there are other ways. One is meditation. That's the direct answer to your question actually. Suppose I want to set it right. All this upadhi is fine, but I like a calm mind. I like a clear cup of water, not a yellow cup of water. Cup of yellow water. Then in that case, regular schedule of meditation. It is slow. It will not always work. But over time, you will find in general the mind has become more composed. Third one is bhakti. A great devotion. Swami Vivekananda said, give up all little loves for this one almighty love of God. So that will give you composure. Other things will not upset you. My only connection is with the Lord. Lord is ever composed. And then finally, Karma Yoga. I am not so concerned about I, me, mine, this little self. What can I do for others? then you will see your little self also will be more composed. So these are the four ways. Let me add here something I read, Swami Premeshananda ji. All this which we are discussing, he put it in a devotional context. He said all the 4 yogas with relation to Sri Ramakrishna. He was talking to some devotees. He said, so Premeshananda ji, some of you know, he was a disciple of Ma Sharada. In his own lifetime, he was regarded as a Brahmagyani. So he said, 4 yogas. Know who Sri Ramakrishna is. That is Jnana Yoga. Who is Sri Ramakrishna? Yesterday we were studying in the reading. Jo Ram Dasharat ka beta, so Ram Jagat Pashera, soi Ram Ghat Ghat me leta. That Rama, who was the son of Dasharatha, as avatar who came as Rama. That Rama is the one who created this universe. Saguna Brahman, Ishwara, Vishnu. And that Rama is also, as we just read, in and through everything. Ghat Ghat me leta is everywhere, is lying in this entire universe. Imminent God. So, who is Sri Ramakrishna? Know this. Second, this is Jnana Yoga. Second is Raja Yoga or Dhyana Yoga. Make an attempt, he says, to keep your mind, that means your thoughts and feelings about Sri Ramakrishna, not about anything else. You'll see constantly thoughts and feelings will go to other things. You bring it back to Sri Ramakrishna only. That is Dhyana Yoga, Raja Yoga. Bhakti Yoga, in Bengali he said, Thakurer prati tan. Feel a pull, a love, an attraction towards Sri Ramakrishna. And finally, fourth, because of that love for Sri Ramakrishna, he says in Bengali, Thakurer jonno kichu kora. Do something for Sri Ramakrishna. That's Karma Yoga. You see, I was just thinking, this whole ashram, it's because a small group of devotees did something for Sri Ramakrishna. That's why it's all there. That is Karma Yoga. So these are 4 ways of maintaining composure of mind.
Okay, I've been warned about the time. I'll ask you something which was done last time before lunch. And when we were talking about this Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga and Jnana Yoga, that they all lead you there. My thing is that does the definition also change? Definition of enlightenment. Because
oh, I see. Yes, it will change.
Definition changes. And
it will change.
Why, if you want freedom, then you have to go through Jnana Yoga.
Yes, but remember, when you say when we have to go through Jnana Yoga, we have already defined it in that way. What is the problem and what's the reality? You are Brahman. What is the problem? You don't know that you are Brahman. Then what is the solution? You have to know or realize that you are Brahman. But already you have defined the problem in this way. If you go to Ramanuja or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he will not define the problem in that way. You are not Brahman. You are a Jiva. Brahman is God. In that case, what is the problem? The problem is you don't have faith in God, you don't surrender to God. Then what will be the solution? What will be the method? You must have faith and surrender and have devotion to God. That's the bhakti way. So the whole definition has changed. Paradigm has changed there.
So the enlightenment, when we say, it will be changed.
Enlightenment will not be changed. It will. If you define enlightenment as Ananda Prapti Dukkha Nivritti, you will attain it anyway. Even the Bhakta will attain it. Because the reality is the same. Whether you approach through love or meditation or through knowledge, you are touching the same reality. That was the unique insight of Sri Ramakrishna. If you don't do that, then Advaita will cut down the others and say, alright, they are preliminary. But finally you have to come to this knowledge. Yes. One thing I will say, please sit. One thing I will say is that notice all the ancient philosophies of India, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga and Vedanta, and Buddhism, Jainism, they were all, without exception, knowledge systems. In their original form, none of them were bhakti systems. The bhakti schools which we talk about developed later. The devotion is a path, love is a path to enlightenment that developed later. Swami Sarvapriyananda ji in the Leela Prasanga, in the great master, he says, why is this so? Today what kind of religion do we see? It's mostly bhakti religion. Our Hinduism here, or Islam, Christianity, they are all bhakti religions. It seems that the knowledge systems have gone into the shadow. Why is it that originally they were only knowledge systems? Sarvapriyananda ji said that is more natural for the inquisitive mind. You see a transitory world, you see the inevitability of death, and then you make an inquiry into what is permanent, what is beyond death. It's a philosophical inquiry, and it will lead you to knowledge. So the original systems were all knowledge systems.
My name is Devartha. I have a question. So when you are mentioning about that Brahman reveals itself, it's not related to, not dependent on the mind. So why is it that only in humans, Brahman reveals itself, not in animals? So, and the second.
So why is it that the sun shines forth only when the wind is blowing the clouds away? See, the sun is always shining forth, whether there are clouds or not, but you need the wind to blow away the clouds. Similarly, ignorance has to be removed by knowledge, and knowledge can be only generated in a highly developed intellect and mind. Mano buddhi chitta ahankara means highly developed. That which you find, see, these capacities of the subtle body, they become more manifest in a human body. See, the subtle body goes from body to body. So why shouldn't it have the same capacities in everybody? It cannot. It's like, nowadays you can give a good example. All your programs and apps, if you transfer from a high-end hardware to a low-end hardware, some of the apps will function, some will not function. And others which function will have degraded functionality. Similarly, when the same subtle body, if it goes and is born as a dog, somebody said in Manhattan, most privileged creatures are dogs. Suppose it's born as a dog, will it be able to do Vedanta? No. It's not capable. Certain parts of the subtle body will become more powerful, sense of smell, the taste, hunger, thirst, those will become more powerful. Intellect, creativity, those will become dysfunctional. So human birth is very important. Human physical apparatus is very important, but not for revealing Brahman, for removing ignorance. All sadhana is at our level, not at level of Brahman. Brahman is ever shining. All you need to do is to remove that ignorance, and for that this human apparatus is necessary.
So one more question. On the analogy that you are drawing between waking state and the dream state, like the waking state could be as much false as the dream state, right? But
it is. That it becomes false when you realize Brahman.
Yes.
Like what did we read? Swakale satyavad bhati, prabodhe satya sad bhavet. During its own time it seems to be real, but when you awaken it seems false. It becomes false. Dream. Similarly also waking state. Now it seems very real. When you realize Brahman it becomes false.
But the waking state is common to all, right? The dream is just exclusive to me. So from that it seems the waking is...
Alright, so waking and dream, can you equate them? Is the waking another form of dream? Advaita seems to say that. But then we have many objections. Waking, you gave one objection, but there are many other objections. And each objection can be easily overcome. Swami Nikhilananda ji, in his book on the Upanishads, there is an essay at the end of the Mandukya Upanishad or beginning of the Mandukya Upanishad, in which he has taken up 10 objections to differentiate dream and waking. The Mandukya Upanishad is heavily dependent on the dream example. If the waking can be equated to the dream, then it becomes easier to show Advaita. But if waking is different from the dream, which it feels like that to us. So it says, whatever your objections, please tell. One of those objections is this. David Chalmers also takes up these objections in Reality Plus. One of the objections is this. This is a common reality, public reality. Dream is individual. But is it? Suppose I say, in the dream, you are having a tea party, which we will have soon, I think. And so many people are there all sitting around and having tea. In the dream, will other people say, I don't see the tea, only you can see it because you are the dreamer? No, they will all say, we are all having the same tea. In the dream also, all the people who are there in the dream, in your dream, they will see it as a shared reality. If you are talking to your friend in a dream, you don't know it's a dream, you feel it's real, you're talking to your friend, will your friend complain, I can't see you because it's your dream, I can't hear you, it's your dream? No, your friend will hear what you are saying, he will see you. So the sense of a shared common reality is there in the dream, it's there in the waking. What you are doing is mixing up dreaming and waking. From the waking state, none of these other people shared my dream, but they all see the bottle in Swami's hand. This is waking state and my dream is personal. But you are comparing the dream state with the waking state. In the waking state, it's a shared reality. In the dream state, it's a shared reality within yourself. It's only after waking up then you say, that was my private thing, this is my shared reality. But after waking up from this, the waking reality, you will find all of them are part of one consciousness or appearances in one consciousness. David Chalmers uses that for a virtual reality environment. He says, this is a shared reality, a public reality. Virtual reality is virtual, false. It is not shared, but it is shared. In a virtual reality, you can, in fact, all of us can go into virtual reality and experience the same thing. So that argument will not hold. And there are many such arguments. There is one more argument which says, look, you can counter these arguments yourself now. See, in a dream, the things are false, they don't work. In the waking state they work. The water in the dream will not quench my thirst. The real water here will quench my thirst. You will immediately say, no. The water in the dream will quench your thirst in the dream. The water in this waking state will quench your thirst in the waking state. In fact, opposite also is true. The water in the waking state will not quench your thirst in the dream. It will not be available to you in the dream. Like this, many arguments are given, and all of them you will see they fall apart. There is no way of distinguishing between dream and waking, logically, of course. Psychologically, you feel the difference.
This will be the last question.
Okay.
Not today.
Hello, Swamiji. Thank you for taking my question. My name is Manoj, and this is my first day in Vedanta. So
First day.
First day, very first day. I came here just to listen to you.
Oh, it's a steep beginning.
It's my career and my privilege to be here and to be asking this question. Question about action being born out of ignorance, right? And then there is the other part of Krishna who says Karmani Abadhikaraste. Your action is your destiny. You have to take action when you see something going wrong. When there is a sin taking place, you have to correct it.
Absolutely.
So, this inaction which Advaita teaches us, that knowledge is supreme, removal of ignorance is supreme, does it take us away from acting? Does it make us inactive or sometimes even cowardly in the face of oppression?
No, just the opposite. It makes you more active and gives you endless courage in the face of oppression. Mahatma Gandhi, when he was facing the British in India, he said, "You can consider me to be a practical Advaitin." My philosophy basically is Advaita. These are his own words. See, when Advaita talks about knowledge being supreme and action being born of ignorance, notice, after knowledge also, after enlightenment also, is action possible? Certainly from the outside, did Vivekananda not do a lot of action? Tremendous amount of action. Did Krishna himself not do any action? Tremendous amount of action. Krishna says, "I have nothing to gain in this world, or in the three worlds, but I am constantly engaged in action for the welfare of the world." Guru Nanak, whether it's Kabir or Shankaracharya himself, Advaita Vedanta, most active life, 32 years, intense activity. But what will they say? Shankara, Vivekananda, karmanya karmaya pashyed, akarmani cha karmaya. Krishna himself says, those who see in action, no action, and in no action, they see action, they truly see, and they are the doer of all action. Gita, chapter 4, 18th verse. What does it mean? In the middle of, suppose, there is a tremendous activity going on. Cops are chasing robbers. Will you say action is going on? Yes, of course, lot of activity is going on. Next, if I say it's a movie appearing on a screen, now will you say action is going on? Are there cops chasing robbers? No. It looks like that. From an Advaitin's perspective, the only thing that is there is Nishkriya Brahman, actionless Brahman. But from our perspective, that Advaitin is most busy, has not even a single moment to spare. Somebody said very nicely, if you want your work to be done, give it to somebody who has no time. He will do it. He or she will do it, because that's the reason that person has no time, because he has a lot of work. Beware of the person who has lots of time. I am an Advaitin, no action for me. Hopeless. Never give that person any responsibility, because nothing will get done. So yeah, Advaita Vedanta has no contradiction with action or anything else. One sadhu put it so beautifully, I'll translate. Hindi I will tell you and translate. He said, अद्वैत आपको अद्वैत दुनिया की प्रतीति को मिटाने के लिए नहीं है, अद्वैत आपको संसार में निर्बाध बनाता है. Advaita is not for wiping out the experience of the world. Advaita makes you limitless within samsara. Have limitless action. Come back lifetime after lifetime if you want to come back. Advaita allows you to do that. Which one wants to wipe out all action? Yoga does that. Patanjali Yoga. Advaita says so-called action is reduced to no action at all. That's what. In the middle of action. Didn't you see? While this cup looks yellow, I am claiming it is not yellow. And it's true that it's not yellow. In the midst of tremendous action of body and mind, you can honestly claim there's nothing being done by me, but which me is that? It's limitless awareness, consciousness. And it makes you very brave, because you know you cannot die. Body will die, but you cannot die. You will never be a coward. Vivekananda was accosted by, when he came to the United States, by, what's his name? The great agnostic, Ingersoll, Robert Ingersoll. This is a new book. Name of the book is The Great Agnostic. He was a well-known public speaker in the United States at that time. So he said to Vivekananda, I don't believe in all this religion and spirituality. I believe in this life. I want to squeeze the orange of this life dry, get every drop of it. Vivekananda said, I also believe that. But I know that I cannot die. Let me show you a better way of squeezing the orange dry. I know that I cannot die, therefore I am not in a hurry. I know that I am one with the universe. Everything is pervaded by God. Imagine my joy. Live your life in this way. Get every drop of it. Get 10,000-fold more from the orange of your life. He says, Vivekananda, this is Advaita Vedanta. Okay, let me do a peace chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.